Yo, super fired up about today's client win. Roosevelt actually spent thousands of dollars and months and months of his life trying to get into tech sales with no luck. He came to us pretty discouraged, pretty disheartened, but not having given up on the dream. And within just a few weeks, we were able to help him secure his first offer. And then he went on to secure two more offers, ultimately accepting an offer at 85K, a fully remote role at a great company. So he's going to kind of walk through what that journey was like. And hopefully, it's an encouragement to you out there looking for jobs that you don't need to give up. You just need the right people to support you. If you feel like what we do here at Sword can help you, we typically get people jobs. Right now, the average is on 34 days. So if you are looking to break into tech sales in 34 days, there's a link below to talk to our team. We'll figure out if you're a good fit or not for what we do. Worst case, I've also got a free guide linked below where you can learn step by step how to do the job to get the job and get results like Roosevelt. So, either way, we look forward to supporting you. Enjoy. Now that you've got the job locked down, like you're just going to be executing and life gets a lot more free from here.
Absolutely. Looking forward to it, man. Looking forward to
Yeah. Well, if I could give you like a big bro hug, dap right now, I would. Give you a nice
it.
squeeze. Um, so proud of you, man. Congratulations.
Thank you, man. Thank you so much, man.
Yeah.
I believe it's something I heard in a video that you did with someone that actually broke into tech, and you mentioned it in another video. I definitely had to borrow your belief as well, too, man, just
Mm.
to be where I'm at right now. Because you seen value in me in that I didn't recognize myself. I just knew that I wasn't going to quit, and I needed to break in, right? And
Yeah.
like, because I went into that conversation that morning telling Holy Spirit, like, Lord, I've been dealing with this course. I went through this course. I have this coaching. I believe at that time it was like 300 application in, and I'm like, one interview. What's going to be different here? What is going to be different here? But in the back of my mind, I told God, I said, Lord, from that first conversation, I said, if it's meant to be, just let us match. And I think with just getting on the phone with you, that initial consultation, man, it was just, to me, it was a match made from heaven. You were super supportive. And
Wow.
again, you seen that value in me. And then I was just like, I had to believe within myself all over again. Like, look, I'm starting from the bottom again, but I can do it. I can do it.
Mhm.
So
Well, and
thank you for that as well.
not only did you do it once, I mean, you got 2 offers. It's just you had so much confidence and authority, you turned away from an offer.
Well, three, because remember it was one that we still didn't we got a verbal, but we didn't get a call
Oh,
back
that's
from.
right, dude. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, man, I already hit record, so we can just kinda
Oh,
everything you said is, like, right on the money. So, take me through the before Sword, like, let's get a little more specific there. So you said you did 300 applications. How many courses did you do? How much money did you invest before
man.
Sword?
Before store, I went to two boot camps.
'Kay.
And I spoke to someone directly through like a Fido entry into that. So total investment for me, I would say maybe about
1,500.
yeah,
Okay.
1,800 to 2,000. And now keep in mind at this time I wasn't even working.
So that's a lot of money.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I just came from doing notary at the Notary Public online notarization. So
Mm,
yeah, and things wasn't going so well on that end. The market has slowed down from everyone going in person into notary. Had
yeah,
card issues, so I couldn't do in person notary. The online was the only thing that was working for me at the time. And
yeah.
yeah, things were sideways at that point.
Yeah, yeah, and then, I remember our conversation. You came to me pretty exhausted, I think was the best word I could use, where you're like, "Dude, I really wanna make this transition. I've invested in myself, I've committed the work, I've put in the time, and I know God is calling me into this,
Yeah,
but it hasn't happened
absolutely.
yet."
Yeah.
So, what do you think it was? Because I do talk to a lot of people who are like, "Hey, I'm gonna go do this boot camp or this tech sales course," or, "Hey, I can buy this thing for 500 bucks. It's gonna help me get into tech." What was different maybe about what we did here at Sword compared to those boot camps and the courses and everything where you saw the result was gonna be different too?
I think the major point was how you have everything structured within your course and what you are doing in the sport program. I think it was easy to follow. The previous information to me was just someone kind of getting in there and just putting a quick video together, not kind of giving you the details on how you have to do the job to get the job. That
Mm.
was like that was a game changer for me right there. Following those steps, following the cadence, and knowing there was action step every day for something I could do to get me closer to my goals. I think that was completely different.
Yeah.
It just wasn't the same with the previous boot camps.
Yeah, I bought a couple of the boot camps just because I was like, "What are they even teaching these people?" And you're right, like, the resume videos are, like, five-minute videos of, like,
Yeah,
"Here's what to do with your resume," and that's very different from, a 30-minute video of me walking you
mhm.
through it, and then you and I getting on to, like, fix up your
Exactly.
resume together. That's a big difference even just in the resume, but let alone, applying for jobs. I mean, you put in 300 applications. How many
300
interviews
applications.
you
3
landed? And this was before
applications
SOAR.
prior to you before SOAR. I have 1 interview prior to that, and just to
Yeah,
piggyback off the resume, I went to a resume, session where it was like a whole group of people on the resume. You get to
yeah.
show your resume, and people are actually approving your resume, like, "Hey, this is great. Looks good. Start applying."
Mhm.
And I was when I said I felt a type of way when you looked at my resume and said, "Dude, you have to change all of this." I was like, "Oh my gosh."
I think I said, "I'm sorry," and I said that to a few of my clients, like, when
Yeah.
they're like, "Yeah, I invested in a resume writer," I'm like, "I'm so sorry, like, we're gonna throw your resume away, and we're gonna start over." So, we can laugh about it now, but we're laughing because
Yes.
it's painful.
Absolutely.
Yeah. What did you think was gonna be the hardest thing for you when it came to transitioning into tech sales, and how do you think we handled that in Sword together?
I think the hardest thing for me was coming into a completely new career, not having any experience, nothing to know about,
Mhm.
absolutely just my core experience that I have from working in corporate or working in my accounting job to transitioning into a completely new career. And I think what you taught me was actually learning my story. And I
Mm.
think the moment I learned my story and knew who I was, man, I was going through first round, second round, third round, because you have a whole video where you have questions that you answers for a question that is going to ask that recruiters or anyone that is going to be asking you through your interviews, right? And with those questions, what I did was made them my own. I didn't sit there and just memorize what you were saying in your video. I took those questions and I said, how can I put it in my story? Well, I'm original from West Africa, Liberia. How can I bring my pain within my interview and make people understand where I'm coming from and how hard I'm trying to work to get to where I'm at? I had a
Yeah.
civil war in my country before I came to the United States. I lost my mom and 2 brothers within that war. I put all of that within my story just to show my passion as what I've already been through. I'm coming from I know I have no experience in this sector of my career, but I'm telling you where I've been through and how hard I've worked to where I got. Only God has got me there, and I will continue to put in that work. So I think coming across and learning my story, putting it in front of the interviewer, it was like, wow, dude, you've been through a lot. Like there's so many interviews that I had where after first round, in my first round, a recruiter just like, dude, I'm sending you to the next one. I'm sending you to the next round. Just and I didn't know that because I think with my first interview that I went through, I chat GPT everything. And I was sitting there reading. Now I can laugh about it. I was reading everything on my screen until the interview. And I was like, dude, that guy was probably like, I cannot hire this guy.
Oh my goodness. So it sounds like it was just helping you figure out your story and who you really are and how to bring all of Roosevelt to the table
Mhm.
and tailor that towards, yeah, I don't necessarily have sales experience. What I do have is this story of coming from a war-torn country where I've lost family members, and
Absolutely.
I want to figure out a way to redeem my life and
Absolutely.
lead my family better and make sure they never
Absolutely.
have to go through what I went through. And
Absolutely.
that tells a much more compelling story of why
Absolutely.
sales.
Absolutely. And that was one thing I remember having a conversation with you, and you was just telling me, like, be honest, man. You don't have to hide anything. You don't have to tell me your story. Make it yours. And that's one thing that you drill into me that made me a better a better person when I started my interviews, being able to articulate myself and being able to be where I'm at right now. So, man, me and
Wow.
my wife walk around and we just tell God, thank you for you, like constantly. Like we like
Mm.
praying for you and your family. Like God
Oh,
bless you.
thank you.
Thank you, man. You
Thank you,
just
man.
don't understand like what you have actually done for me and my family and a lot of people who is in
Mm.
your program. And I think they can share those same experience as well.
Thank you. I receive all of that on behalf of my family. And man, the Lord is good to give us these opportunities, right? Because it's all about expanding the kingdom. And it's all about
Absolutely.
fulfilling the created potential He gave us. And dude, you did that. You stepped up because there's a lot of people in your shoes that would have given up on tech
Yeah.
sales. So
Yeah. Yeah.
300 applications, about 1,800 invested in trying to get a job. A lot of time went by and nothing. Now, just so the people can hear at home, you landed an 85K fully remote role with an incredible company. By the way, I know your leader. She is amazing. You have a great leader who cares about you and who knows how to.
Absolutely.
So tell me a little bit about life after Sword now that you've gone through it.
Right now, life is great, man. Everything is actually going perfectly right now, transitioning to a new place. So thank God for that as well. Like you said, great leader, great company. Can't speak enough about where I'm at right now, man, and
Mm,
how they are really pouring into me right now. I'm going into onboarding and everything is just phenomenal. Like people is reaching out, just, hey, do you need help in this? Like the warm welcome. And I'm just so excited for where I could take my career right now. I think I made the best choice. Like I
mm,
said earlier, we had an offer when I first had in a verbal offer, never got back to me, had another offer, and I had to make a decision to say, hey, I don't think this is the right place for me right now. And still having to wait and be faithful and say, God, I give everything up to you because at the end of the day, everything is still in your hands, and being able to get another offer and being put in this position at my current company. I'm just super excited and grateful, man.
yeah, man, I can't believe that. Like 3 offers, most people would jump at the first one, but you were just willing to trust the Lord that, hey, you have something different for me. I know that there's not
Absolutely.
peace in my spirit yet. And then you waited and you ended up in the right spot. So
Yeah.
kudos to you for that.
Thank
Um,
you.
you said you made the best choice with regard to the company. Now, obviously, Sword got you different results than boot camps and stuff like that. What would you tell that person who's on the fence, right? They meet me, we walk through like, hey, this is how we're going to help you. Here's the investment. Here's what this is going to require. And they're like, I don't think this is for me. That person on the fence, what would you tell them?
You're doing yourself a disservice right now, to be honest with you. And like, there is no way you can turn this opportunity down because I guarantee you that investment that you are making, you're going to say thank you to yourself multiple times. Because
Mm,
that is a very small piece of the pie of what you are actually going to get. The bond, the friendship, the coaching. I remember you asking me one time, like, hey man, what do you need from me right now? Do you want me to just be in your corner right now? That's something that I've never had from the previous courses or anything that I've done trying to get into tech. And I look at this situation as a lifelong friendship that I've gained into my career. And I can hit you up and say, hey, Jack, I'm feeling a type of way, or get on the call with you and say a prayer or two with you. Like, that's something that I've never had before. So to be able sitting on that fence right now, not only do you get that course and you get to change your life and change your career, you get so much more out of the store program.
mm.
So
And
get off the fence, make that move, make that decision. You will thank yourself for it.
thank you. Yeah, I feel the same way about you, man. I feel like I'm gonna be in Roosevelt's corner the rest of my life, cheering away. You go
Thank
on and
you.
hit new heights. You mentioned kind of being in your corner, right? And being kind of that coach who was there for you. What was your favorite part about my coaching style as I worked with you one on one?
I think your favorite part is that you made me do the work. Like, you didn't do the work for me. And I think you told me that in day one, like, dude, this is what I can do for you. This is how I can get you there. But not once did you actually do the work for me. I had to literally do the work. And I remember sending you an email one time about reaching out to a company, and you went through the whole information. You did it online. You did the correction. You sent in the video. And after watching that video, I can honestly say it, I took so much meat and potatoes from it. And I pride myself on every time I said there is not going to be another time that I sent Jack an email with all these things that I didn't even think about first. And I can remember you telling me something like, dude, this is really good. Like, you did a good job here. You might take one or two words and say, hey, move this around, but made me learn the job. You actually made me do the job to get the job. And even just going on boarding and having to sit on calls and shadow people right now, I'm looking at them like, dude, I was just doing it. Like, I'm not afraid to get on the phone. I'm not afraid to send a text message or make a quick LinkedIn video. It's like, dude, I was really prepared for this. And you made me prepare for this.
It's beautiful. Yeah, man, that's what it's about. Do the job to get the job. That way, when you're in the job, you're confident. Like,
Yeah.
I'd
Yeah.
rather rip you down and all the fear and all the anxiety. I'd rather rip it down right now with me and you because you're safe with me,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
that way, when you're in that position of actually starting your job, you're like, no, I've done this before. I've been doing this the past few weeks.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. So outside of landing this 85K fully remote role, what are you most proud of accomplishing?
What am I most proud of accomplishing? I think I got to build my faith more in this
Mm.
entire process. Like I said, I think when I got with you a few, maybe 30 days into it, I got an offer. It had to wait. So I didn't know what God was telling me within that situation. I had to go back to the drawing board and just kind of pray and be more faithful and be more humble and just do the things that I needed to do to be a better human being. And it wasn't about the role. It wasn't about the job. I think God just wanted me to be patient in this situation because we can't say that we trust him and every day we are complaining about the things that's happening in our life. We have to be faithful. So I think my faith just grew a lot within this entire process.
Man, if that's not a win, if that's not something to be proud of, I don't know what is. Because that's more important than a job or income,
Absolutely.
anything.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That fires me up, man. That's awesome. And you being someone, this is my last question for you. You being someone who has invested a lot. You put a lot of time. You've learned from a lot of different sources, the boot camps and the courses and the resume writers and everything. What's something you learned in Sword that if other people knew about, if they implemented, if they did it, would actually help them on their job search? Because not a lot of people are in your shoes where they're eyeing three different offers and they finally got a job. They're still looking for jobs and they're getting advice from these boot camps, from these resume writers that isn't actually helping them. What do you think they need to know that we do in Sword that would actually help them go land a job?
I think we've said this multiple times already, man. Doing the job to get the job. I was inputting in all of those applications. There was no follow up in there. There was no articulated message to reach out to management or reach out to someone within the company to put myself in front of everybody. I remember a couple of interviews where I was told, man, I got your application. I don't have time to go over 300 applications, but you was the one that actually called me on the phone. You was the one that actually sent me a LinkedIn video. You was the one that sent me a text message video. So those little things that the SOAR program offer was what really made me stood out in front of the masses right now. So
Yeah.
that's one thing that I would say.
Do the job to get the job. It's crazy, like,
Absolutely.
how many of these videos I put out with people like you who we've gotten to work together, we get you a great job. It's always the same advice, like,
Yeah.
"Guys, you need to go do the job to get the job."
ab-
But even still, my friends are posting my manager friends, they're posting stats from their job pipeline that was like, "Yeah, we got 400 candidates, 2 people
mhm.
called me." And
Yeah.
it's like,
Well,
"Guys, if you're not going to do the job to get the job, if you're not gonna pick up the phone, you're just not gonna get the attention you want."
yeah, absolutely. And I think it speaks a lot because those managers are looking at you like he's hungry, he's ready. I will pick him over anybody else that's have a beautiful resume. And this side is actually doing the job to get the job. So that
Yeah.
concept of the model within the SWORD program is just something that, like I said, man, and I'm gonna continue to say is unbelievable. That's the win-win all the way around.
Well, it's also why you're here. 85K, fully remote
Yep,
role after
yep.
a lot of hard work, man. I'm so proud of you, and I'm so grateful that you're gonna be in the best position possible to lead your family, right? Your
Thank
wife, your
you.
daughter,
Thank
and
you.
man, you put in the work, and we are all so proud of you. So congratulations.
Thank you so much, Ryan. And again, thank you so much for all of the effort and everything that you pour into me. Thank God for you.
100%. Cool.